At the end of the last episode, we had an opportunity to trade for Spencer Jones. In this episode, we'll see whether we make that trade, take that trade, and move ourselves forward in this rebuild. As you saw, it was Clark Schmidt, Adrian Palante, Jordan Walker, and Thomas Sajazi as a means to just get rid of some of the log jams at certain positions and give ourselves some youth and, just get rid of whatever trade pieces we can to get as much talent as we can. And unfortunately, at the end of the first unofficial half of the season, we have taken a loss to the Cubs 3-2. And with the unofficial first half of the season, we jump into the draft. Here in 2027, we had the worst record last year, but ended up with the number 3 pick. The first pick in the draft to the Colorado Rockies is outfielder, switch hitter, Derek Post, the number 1 ranked draftee. Pretty good bat on his hands, might have some very good power, and he's playing in Coors at home for half of the season. When he eventually gets called up, he should be that next great player to eventually get these Rockies back into perennial playoff contention. They have not made the postseason many times in their history, only making it to one World Series, in which it was the worst World Series I ever watched. If you ever saw the 2007 World Series, it was trash. Next up is the Reds, our division rival, who leapfrogged us in the draft lottery. They go with third baseman Richie Rosales, also plays first base, looks to be probably the best offensive player out of the gate. Solid fielding, good enough speed. The arm strength isn't that great to play third, but honestly, with the offense, you can live with him maybe occasionally not being able to get it to your first baseman. Pretty damn durable, pretty damn disciplined. He was a guy that I wanted to pick, but unfortunately he did not fall to us. And he wanted $8 million, so he'd have taken up so much of our draft capital, would have been a little too much to deal with. Reggie McGregor of the White Sox, second MLB ranked, third ranked on our board. Another guy I did kind of look at, but we do have J.J. Weatherholt. We want to give him a chance. McGregor looks like he's ready, if not now, very close to now. Damn good fielder, a very fast player. Doesn't have the requisite arm strength you will want from a shortstop, as you want them getting that ball out of the hand to second and to first, and even on cutoff throws. Maybe he can work on that in the future. As far as our pick, we have, I believe, number 5, and we go with Felipe Escobar, a guy in a stream that I have looked at, and honestly, he is pretty damn good. Good against righties and lefties. Strikeouts lefties better than righties. Maybe that's because of his pitch mix. I do like that he throws a splitter. Y'all know how I feel about the splitter. Splitter, two-seam curveball, and I believe that was a slider. We jump to the second round, and we go with probably the best player on our board in general. It is Garrett Swanson. I know he's a reliever, and I know we have Swanson as our closer, and we did just recently trade for Ben Joyce, who is also a closer by nature, but I want more strong arms in the pen so that our offense in the future does not have to try to score more than 5 runs a game, which sounds terrible, but it is what it is. Josh Perry, we go with him with the third round pick. Seems to be pretty decent across the board. Switch hitter. I'm not looking to replace Nolan Gorman, but you never know. Robert Magruder, a utility player, 100% scouted. I would have taken him in the first round if I didn't see a guy like Rosales. Plays second, plays third, plays all of the outfield. Josh Perry, on the other hand, did I already mention him? I feel like I did. He has a very strong arm for a third baseman. Decent fielder. In the fourth round, we go with Preston Bell in a rush. I don't think I wanted to pick him, but they only give you a minute after like the third round, so he seems to be a solid reliever. Only throws 3 pitches, a two-seam, sweeping curve, and a changeup. Maybe he adds another pitch to his repertoire, really giving himself a more rounded pitching arsenal. Does have pretty good control and stamina. Casey Bell, another outfielder, was on nobody else's radar but ours. Projected third-round pick. We get him, I believe, in the 5th or 6th round. Very good fielder. Decent with the bat in his hands. Next up, we go with another outfielder, Alexis Marmolejo. He's kind of a project piece, which is fine. We could use as much talent as we can find. So I'm not too upset about this pick, and the 2027 draft has come to an end. In the home run derby, It is Marte, Chisholm, Judge, Seager, Carpenter, Schwarber, Devers, and Seager. And here is the final. It is Kerry Carpenter versus Aaron Judge, and Kerry Carpenter wins the 2027 Home Run Derby. Y'all know, or if you've been here any length of time, I actually hate doing I hate doing the Home Run Derby, because if I play it, I will win every time. But he put up a 39 home run performance, and there is a trade, which I don't know why this is called a blockbuster. It doesn't seem like it to me, though. Murphy's a very good catcher. Murphy and Drew Hackenberg go to San Diego. Pavetta, Jeremiah Estrada, and the longtime lefty Wandy Peralta going to the Braves. Ben Joyce is somehow an all-star, and y'all know how I feel about SDS. Sir, you have to split the actual stats. This man has barely been here, and you gave him an all-star nod. Same thing with Spencer Jones. He's only played, 2 games for us? You got to split the stats. You got to stop just lumping and moving stuff over. It is literal data transfer, and you need to be able to separate the two. Okay, I shouldn't have all-stars that don't deserve to be all-stars. That should have been Nolan Gorman's spot, without a doubt, or at least Matt Swanson, as we don't have very many players that are honestly all-star worthy. Brandon Lau to the Mets in exchange for a prospect, and Harvey Franks, our closer we drafted last year. 3 innings, 3 strikeouts, 2 hits, a hell of a performance in the Futures game. And we get to the second half of the season. Because of how terrible we are going to essentially fly through the second half of the season. Gershon Moreno, a guy called up to fill in a reliever roster spot, gets out of the 6th inning. Alex Vesia misses on the circle change. Walking Vinny Pasquantino for Edmund Sosa. Grounder, Jones over to Weatherholt, getting one. Weatherholt throws it back anyway. Good thing the pitcher was paying attention, or he got clocked in the head. But Mauricio Dubon smokes a sweeper deep the left field. No save opportunities for Swanson, but he might get slapped with an L in a crosstown, cross-league rival. The Royals down 3-1 as Pozo plops one over the leaping first baseman's head for a base hit, which means the tying run is coming to the plate. Spencer Jones, 7 homers, 16 RBI with the Yankees, really splitting his time between the Yankees and AAA. I'm not sure what the Yankees are doing. I think they're being very impatient, but I can understand. Given the talent on their team, Judge is still there, obviously. You got Bellinger, you got Cole in the last year of his contract. They want to try to maximize the opportunity to kind of get those guys a World Series. As Alec Thomas smacks this one to right field, running back. It's over his head. The runner from third scores easily. Thomas with a stand-up double with 2 away, which means the number 7 batter gets an opportunity to tie this or maybe even win it as Tommy Troy bounces this one to first, and unfortunately the Royals are going to pick up the victory 3-2. Starting off the second half of the season, not great to take the L, but you kind of know what we were getting into. The Tigers want to make another trade with us. Nolan Gorman for Theodon Lorenzo or for Bryce Rayner. And this is an absolute get the hell out of my face with this whack-ass trade. What are y'all thinking? At least the Mason Wynn trade got us back somebody, that being Max Clark, which maybe we'll see him at some point if an injury happens, but otherwise I want him to really marinate for a while in the minors. This may even extend into next year, as Jake McCarthy will plop this one to left field, but it'll land in a glove, and unfortunately will not be able to score the runner from third, 4-4 through the fourth. And here's Bobby Witt Jr. having a hell of a game, 2 for 3, 3 RBI, a long ball, 0-2 pitch, sends this one to right field. Scott, I was hoping he would drop that. No, why would you make the catch? Dude, you let that drop and let the pitcher try to get the out. I don't understand why he thought he needed to catch that. Maybe he thought he could throw the runner out. Sometimes you got to be a little smarter, as Pasquantino bops this one into right center field. And you see where The issue was you had one strike to play with. Moreno's not horrible. You could have just let him try to hit it into the defense, preferably a ground ball. Pasquantino, his 15th long ball. And Mundo Sosa hitting this one into the gap. Scott somehow not able to cut it off. Seriously, SDS, at a certain point, like once that ball bounces, it needs to lose momentum. The outfielder needs to be able to run that down. Scott is our fastest player and should be able to get that one on the bounce. Nonetheless, J.J. Weatherholt bounces one up the middle. Runner coming around from second, and a lackadaisical throw ties the ball game up at 6 from double 7. McCarthy, swing and a miss at a slider he should have let hit him. Yo, why are you swinging at that garbage, man? We need to get as many base runners as possible. As offensively inept as we are outside of Nolan Gorman and like a handful of other players, we are very much a top-heavy offense despite the bottom barrel, output. And left fielder throws it back in. We'll have runners at the corners. Again, Gorman, I'm not against trading him. It's just a matter of I need to get the right deal before I move him. Maybe that happens. Maybe it doesn't. Pages flies out to right field. Of course, you're looking at two teams in their respective centrals that are near, if not at the bottom. We are well out of first place and even a wild card. Even the last place team in the Central is still in the running for a wild card. We've been out of it since April. As Isaac Kylands flies out to right field. Bobby Witt now 3 for 4 here in the 10th inning. 1-0 pitch, sends it out, right field. Scott trying to get on his horse to get to it. He's got no chance. Bobby Witt, the disrespectful flap of the wings, telling us to fly back to our damn nest and get our shit together. His 14th long ball of the year. Still one of the best players in this league, offensive, defensively, however you want to slice it. If you don't think he's top 5, you're wilding. As Alec Thomas takes a walk, bases loaded. Tommy Troy with an opportunity. Troy, swing and a miss on a slider well out of his reach. I'm not sure what he was thinking. Maybe he just really wasn't. Swanson picks up the loss. Bobby Witt, 4 for 5 with 2 homers and 6 RBI. Now we have an opportunity to sign our draftees. Escobar ready now. Swanson not so much. Bell right there on the cusp. Perry ready to sign now. Same thing with Magruder. Preston Bell as well. Marmolejo. And we're going to attempt to sign as many of these players as quickly as possible. We have almost $15 million to play with. Magruder signs for a little under $1 million. Felipe Escobar, first-round pick, wants $3.8 million, but his floor apparently is 5 points. Bro, if you want almost $6 million, just say it and not just, okay, he'll take a little under 6. $5.8 million. Looks like he's going to be a damn good player in the near future. Josh Perry will sign for $1.2 million. Marmolejo, $307,000 is asking, but he will take almost double that at $597. Preston Bell, the reliever who I didn't mean to pick, he'll sign. I guess he's appreciative of the opportunity. Casey Bell, Garrett Swanson. We're going to have to wait a little bit. Bell should be ready in 2 days. Is Jones ready to help out this Cardinals offense? Not quite. Swings and misses at a high fastball as we face the Guardians. Victor Scott bounces one up the middle, base hit. He is definitely a stolen base threat, but it's kind of late to be taking that opportunity. Curveball in the corner outside, and he will take second. Pedro Pages, I think he was looking for a hit and run. That was a barely hittable ball, as this ball's going to get a hit. Right center field. Scott should be tagging. He is. The throw hits the cutoff man. They're not going to get him. So we'll have a runner at third for Big Christmas, who is still hitting under the Mendoza line. I'm losing my patience with him, which explains why he got released, and we thought we'd take the opportunity. But I think at this point in his career, he's very much a spot player. And I spoke too soon. Christmas comes early in July, ties the ball game. Noel to second, hustling in there for 4, and becomes the go-ahead run for Tommy Troy. Batting .350, plops this one into left field shallow. Bounces Noel around third to score. The Cardinals pick up the rare victory, just our 40th of the season in a little over 100 games. We are like 40-62 or something, man. We will take any and every victory we can, though a wild card spot is very much out of the question. Edmundo Sosa immediately got traded. This was on, I think he got traded like mid-third inning or something, but hey, he's getting traded for a decent pitcher to the Yankees. Casey Bell ready to sign now, wants $400,000. We'll offer him the Devils number 1,000, and no, not gonna happen. He's not ready to sign quite yet. Casey Bell wants $400,000, signs for almost double at $798. So Swanson, is going to be the last player we look to sign. Escobar's already signed, and we got about 8 days to do so. We jump ahead 2 more. He's at 52%. How much money is it going to take to get him in our nest? $2.8 million? No, not going to take the number he's asking for. I think his agent is playing hardball. And the Orioles get themselves a pretty good outfielder in Jung-Hoo Lee. They also get Ryan Walker and Eric Miller as they look to make a chase for a wild card spot. Jung-Hoo Lee, very much a contact guy through and through, plays very good defense, and he gets moved for 2 prospects. Herbert Carlisle is being offered to us in exchange for Nolan Gaiman. Yo, what Sacramento smack are y'all freaking smoking out there? Kobe Mayo is at least a little bit better of a trade, but no, get out of here with this stupid trade. Mayo is tempting, but no. I almost feel like we need to have some pieces here that we can move forward with, though I'm pretty sure Gorman is a free agent very soon. Swanson, $2.8 million. We're going to attempt at $309. He is not going to take it. What is it going to take? Taylor Ward on the move to the Mariners, the defending AL champions, in exchange for Lázaro Montes, a young outfielder, B potential. And you know what? The Seattle Mariners have probably the best outfield room in the game. You see Julio Rodriguez, James Outman, Taylor Ward, Brandon Nimmo, and there was another individual whose name I now missed. And look, Victor Robles, like they have guys, they can just swap in and out and not really lose much. Maybe not so much with Rodriguez as Swanson. We've got $4 million. You're not going to take $4.5 million. Bro, come on. We try again 2 days later. We have 4.66. Just empty the clip. Empty the whole clip in and boom, take this money. We'll get the Brinks truck to you, or a duffel bag if you wish. Thank you for finally signing. He looks like he's probably going to be our best draftee, as usually is the case for, closers that are highly touted or coveted. As we look at Connor Griffin, and he'll bounce one into a double play attempt, but it will not be successful, as the Pirates do lead the NL Central here in the second half of the season. The ball kicks up for Troy's glove. Jonathan India is safe. The run scores. Troy, get it together, my man. Get it together. Willie Castro, signed in free agency, is going to make his money's worth. Bouncing this one into the gap. Runner from second scores. Runner from first coming around third. The throw, not a problem. They have doubled their output at 4-2. We've gotten one back as Tommy Troy hits this one high. Deep right field. Bounces off the top of the wall. Unfortunately, it is a double. I would have much preferred the long ball. But we are 180 feet away from tying this ball game up. Victor Scott attempts the bunt on a splitter way out of the zone. Good pitching by the returning Bednar, and Bednar hits him with a curve in the lower back. 2 runners on. J.J. Weatherholt with an opportunity to hit his first. Oh, wait, no. He hit his first home run already in his career. Damn it. I hate when they hit their first home run in simulation. I like to be the one to do it. Weatherholt sends the curveball deep to straightaway center. O'Neal can't come up with it. Into that patterned shrubbery out there, J.J. Weatherholt gets his first channel televised home run as a Cardinal, and it couldn't have came at a better time, though we're well out of any playoff implications. We love to see that, but straightaway center, dude, in PNC? That's saying something. That's saying he really does have some bop in his bat. Hopefully we see plenty more of this. He is a rookie, so I'm not expecting him to hit a ton of them, but, I'd say by about his late 20s, should be about a 20 home run guy for double 7. Big reason why this Pirates team is where they are, Brian Reynolds. He started to really figure it out and is one of the better run drivers here in the game in 2027. Gets on to start the bottom half of the inning. Now Spencer Horwitz, hard shot up the middle off Matt Swanson as we try to get the save, but he's already given up 2 base runners. We need a strikeout and a double play. O'Neal Cruz, swing and a miss, big sweeper. The strikeout we needed. Swanson fired up. Here now Connor Griffin, 0 for 4 in today's ball game, and takes a low fastball, but Griffin's young eyes sees it better than the ump, and he is correct, overturning the count from 0-1 to 1-0. Now 2-1. It's been a long time since we've seen a pressure situation here in Pittsburgh. The crowd pretty fired up. 3-2, swing and a miss. Big sweeper again. Gets a key Pirate to set down. Now Jonathan India. 2 doubles. If he gets another, he might just win this game. Floats this cutter to left center. A little shallow, but Thomas is there to make the play. And the Cardinals pick up the victory. We jump ahead to the day portion of this series as Gorman bounces one in the left field here in a down 1 deficit. He's the first base runner with 1 away. Pies smacks this one down the right field line. It'll bounce down and up near Roberto Clemente's number. Runner from first. Gorman will stand at third. It is runners at the corners for the Redbirds. Bouncer, shallow in the infield, goes to second, back to first, and the unfortunate double play gives the Pirates the victory. Quite possibly the series. It's the trade deadline, and the Blue Jays make a move, sending Ernie Clement, Tyrone Taylor, and Tommy Nance in exchange for Bryce Rainier and Todd Rohair. I think they are continuing to try to make room for their team. I'm just showing you my trade frequency is at 1, and there still are a decent amount of trades. Like, I'm not going to say it's too much, but it is what it is. Felipe Escobar is a high B potential player, needs to work on his ability to strike out batters of the same hand, but he's decent against righties and lefties, but strikes out lefties much more. I'm going to assume that's because of that splitter away to left-handed batters that can't seem to make good contact. Garrett Swanson, 93 potential and might even be better than that. Plus fastball, throws a decent curve slider and a changeup. He might start off next year at the majors because of our lack of relief pitchers, and I don't always like to sign relievers for like $5 and $6 million. I like to have some cheapos out there. Josh Perry looks very much like a project piece. Does have the ability to steal, though he's not the fastest. Robert Magruder should be a long-time utility man, has some speed, could work on the defense, is pretty aggressive on the base pass, but needs to work on that bat if he ever is going to at least become a quality player for our organization. Preston Bell pitches better against lefties in terms of not allowing hits, strikes out righties better. It's a weird situation, but he does have 61 stamina. We might have him be a starter, maybe in Double-A at some point. Casey Bell, good fielder, better going forward than any other direction, decent speed, needs to work on the power. And Alexis Marmolejo, as you saw, we basically got 2 duds, though this guy's offense isn't too terrible. I get he doesn't hit for power. He's very much a DH guy. It's probably where he will play. More of a contact guy, putting bat on ball. And we jump all the way to the end of the season. I'm sorry. There's just not much to show in a season that's been pretty much kaput since the beginning of the year. Yankees, Astros, Tigers, Twins, Pirates, Mets, Cubs, D-backs, Red Sox, the Mariners, the Dodgers, and the 3-time back-to-back champions have secured a first-round bye. And yes, we're going to jump into the playoffs immediately. I'm not in this episode. There's no point. Pirates win the division for the first time, I think, in like 13 years. I think they last won it in 2014. Cubs also make the playoffs. Reds just miss. Dodgers win the division, NL West, for like the 6th or 7th year in a row. D-backs finish second. Despite having 97 wins, they are a wild card team. That's the problem with playing in the same division as the Dodgers. Red Sox all win the division. Yankees are the wild card. Tigers win the Central, and the Twins also make the playoffs. Mariners win the division for the third year in a row. Astros finish second. Mariners looking to get back to the World Series following their first ever last year. Yankees, Astros, and Twins are the wild card. Angels are the worst team in the American League. And we are the worst team in baseball, even worse than the Rockies despite some of our talent. Meaning we have a 16.5% chance at the first round pick, but so do the Rockies and I think one other team. The Mariners have made it back to the World Series, and the Cubs have eliminated the Dodgers in the NLDS 3-2, which means we will get a new world champion for the first time in 4 years. And the Mariners-Cubs, the Cubs have taken it to a Game 7 following the Game 6 victory. Seattle up 6-3. Horner hits this one up the middle. Base hit here in the late going 7th inning. Miguel Amaya. Bouncer hits off the glove of Josh Naylor. He will step on the bag, and one is all he will get. Runner forced to go to second as Brian Wu pitching very well thus far. 7 hits, but only 3 runs. Can he get out of the 7th? Actually, they go to Bizzardo as Bregman, the free agent signed 2 years ago, will bounce one in the right center, scoring the run from second as the Cubs look to make a comeback and win their second world championship in a century. But Julio Rodriguez has been the clutch that has been needed. 3 for 3 with a triple and 2 long balls with 4 RBI, really trying to will Seattle to their first championship in their 50-year history. Munoz, Spire in the pen. Munoz is the closer. Suzuki bounces it to first, and Naylor will step on the bag. In case you were wondering, we do have his brother, Miles Naylor, in our minor league system, as I did pick him up off waivers late in the year. As Kyle Raleigh calling for the challenge, and his call was correct. 1-2 is the count. And swing and a miss by PCA sets him down. Second out of the 8th. Spire comes out of the pen in, I believe, a lefty-lefty situation, though lefties are hitting him better than righties. This doesn't make sense. Why is he out here against Randy Arozarena, a guy who routinely smokes left-handed pitching? Grounded a second over the first. Not an issue for Seattle. And here's Andres Munoz coming out of the pen, getting that. This is absolutely the most clutch inning in Mariners history as they look to get their first world championship. Miguel Andujar, who has spent the last 3 years really reviving his career, hits a circle change, high, deep, right field, not exactly deep enough. It lands in Nemo's glove. First out here in the 9th. Here's Dansby Swanson. 6 home runs and 17 RBI in this postseason. Unfortunately, will strike out on the sinker. Seattle 1 out away from a world championship. Horner, 5 of 26. A long ball. I know he wishes he had somebody on base. 1-2 count. And he gets hit with a sinker just below the butt cheek. That means the tying run comes to the plate. It is Miguel Amaya who has hit a long ball. It wasn't a clutch spot. As the high slider, Amaya does not agree. So from one catcher to another, he is correct. Turning a 0-2 count to a 1-1 count. Munoz, 14th pitch. Hits it at second. The ball is caught. Third out, and Seattle gets their first World Series championship the year after first making it to the World Series. Julio Rodriguez does something some greats in Mariner history have never even sniffed. Griffey, Johnson, though Johnson got his in Arizona, Edgar Martinez, King Felix could not come up with a world championship, but these Mariners have done so. Many years of heartbreak, many years of missing the playoffs, and they get the job done. It's great to see, but I think it's time to jump into the offseason because we have some serious work to do. I think Brendan Donovan is still on this team, and he wins a world championship. Brandon Nimmo is somehow named the World Series MVP, and I think you guys know over the long history of this channel, I hate the way they vote for World Series MVP. A pitcher can never get it. Speaking of MVPs, Ketel Marte, leading the NL in home runs and batting average, wins the MVP. Jazz Chisholm has been scorching hot the entire season and runs away with this MVP here in 2027. Tariq Skubal wins his third Cy Young in 4 years. Yoshinobu Yamamoto becomes the first Japanese pitcher to win a Cy Young and at least one Sawamura, the Japanese MPB equivalent of the Cy Young. He should be a Baseball Hall of Famer. Ketel Marte wins the batting title, so does Vlad Guerrero. Corey Seager, he had a hell of a season his damn self, so did Alec Bohm. Reliever of the year goes to Josh Howard. And Aroldis Chapman, which it needs to be said, might be a Hall of Famer. 10-time All-Star and a 3-time reliever of the year. Twice in the NL, once in the AL. Theo Gillen wins the AL Rookie of the Year. Russ McAllister beats out 2 Cardinals we had to win the NL Rookie of the Year. I mean, let's be honest, he had better power numbers than both of them combined. Weatherholt got called up like late June, so McAllister had plenty of time, and he was just a draftee last year. The Padres might have themselves one, as he's a good right-handed hitter and a solid left-handed hitter as he's a switch hitter. Of course, the Hank Aaron goes to Ketel Marte in the NL. Corey Seager gets it in the AL, beating out Chisholm and Aaron Judge. And the Gold Gloves from pitcher to catcher. Diaz gets one. Pasquantino, Spencer Steer in our own division. So does Horner. Clement, who, I mean, he's still in the AL, so that's understandable he gets it. He stayed in the AL, and it's understandable you get an award that way. Mason Wynn somehow wins it, though he really shouldn't have. Remember, he spent almost half the season with us, and when we traded him, Heriberto Hernandez, Brent Doyle wins another one. Parker Meadows. Willie Abreu, I think, goes 3-4 in a row. Corbin Carroll goes back-to-back. Schwarber gets a Silver Slugger. Understandably so. Kerry Carpenter beating out Brent Rooker for 2 in a row. Kyle Riley wins it for like the 4th year in a row. 38 homers for a catcher. Will Smith beats out Hunter Goodman 2 straight years, though he's not on this ballot. In top 3, Rafael Devers. Josh Naylor of the world champion Mariners. Jazz Chisholm, understandably, has won it like 5 years in a row, either as a Yankee or as a Red Sox. Okay, it's only 3 in a row. He's also a 3-time All-Star. Ketel Marte obviously wins the Silver Slugger at his own position as the MVP. Vientos, Carlos Correa with a bounce-back season, I gotta say. Corey Seager, Ellie De La Cruz, Brian Reynolds, Jarren Duran. The Red Sox continue to have a great defensive outfield. Buxton, Kyle Tucker. Juan Soto gets a Silver Slugger for, I feel like, the 6th time in his career. Julio Rodriguez, mind you, Soto's like 28. And the ALCS MVPs go to Rodriguez and Arozarena. We do have a coaching vacancy, but we're going to deal with retirements first. Chris Bryant, who has had a very disappointing time in Colorado, is just going to call it a career, especially considering he has a dislocated ankle. The son of Tom Glavine, Peyton Glavine, is going to call it a career. Maybe he'll become a pitching coach. Anyway, Paul Goldschmidt should be a Hall of Famer at the age of 40. Has very good numbers for a first baseman, 380 homers, 288 batting average, 2,200 hits, 1,250 RBI. Kenley Jansen, I say, should be a Hall of Famer, 40 years old, as the Hall of Fame is very stingy to closers. 477 saves, which I believe puts him at about 4th all time, maybe 3rd actually. 1,000 innings pitched, 1,300 strikeouts, and unfortunately, it's only Paul Goldschmidt that makes the Hall of Fame. Good for him. You know, just was more of a lefty hitting specialist through the end of his career, with time with the Yankees and formerly as a Cardinal. We need a new manager, as Ronald Salas is pretty good as a hitting coach. We're not concerned about drag bunting, but the contact and power, we will take it. Discipline is a bonus. Blake gives us our pitchers, better clutch and strikeouts to their ability. Stubby Clapp, the former real-life Cardinal. We lose some fielding. We gain a little bit elsewhere. Hayden Dean is really like our speed coach at third base. Really doesn't give us much anywhere else. Danny Groniger, our farm director, helps out our young arms. I really wish they would flesh out the minor leagues and give them their own coaches and stuff, but whatever. As far as new manager, we're going to test our chance at Francisco Colon. Gives us plus contact and plus vision and some fielding. As we look at the rest of the... Okay, how do you not want more money to become a manager? Maybe he just feels more comfortable as a farm director. So we'll up the money and see if we can beat out those Angels. Really? $5 million a year. You want 1.4. I guess more money, more responsibility is not something he wants. We put a couple players in the trade block to start the offseason because we have a bit of a logjam at catcher, and I want to see if we can get maybe a prospect or two. Hunter Dobbins, I just don't think is ever going to be really ready for the majors. 28 years old, had a cup of tea at the majors. He does have plus pitches all across the board, but I don't know. His personalities just don't do it for me. Ryan Fernandez had a terrible 2026 campaign despite the attributes. 29 years old. I think he's peaked, and maybe we can get something for his services. Yankees put Fernando Cruz on the block. Rays looking for a second baseman. White Sox looking to upgrade at left field. Angels are looking for a second baseman as well. Athletics, same thing. And the Dodgers are looking for a third baseman, though I think I might have offered them Nolan Gorman at one point. And the Padres are looking to upgrade in left field as well. William Contreras is the top free agent. So is Mackenzie Gore, Joe Adele, the Angels' power threat the past 3 years in a row, hits the market. Pablo Lopez, Nick Lodolo, Jeremy Pena. We don't need a shortstop, so we'll be looking at him. Griffin Jacks, good reliever. Adley Rutschman, not pretty much a good all-around catcher. Stephen Kwan and Johan Duran, the closer, not something we need. And we're offering to one free agent, Joe Adele. I wanted to trade for him, but I just never felt like we had the pieces to get him. So I'm glad he became a free agent, even if it's going to cost us. But he looks like he's been one of the better hitting right fielders the last 4 years in a row. More so 3, as 2024 was a 207 average year. But he is up to slugging, up to his batting average. And we need the offense, especially considering we play a decent amount of night games. Good first pitch hitter, breaking ball hitter, and a rally monkey is, let's be honest, we're behind a lot. Is a former All-Star in 2026 and a Silver Slugger in the same year. Francisco Colon is going to accept that farm director deal with the Angels, no longer considering our managerial position, so we'll have to go back out there and look for another manager candidate. And Hayden Hoberg, who looks like he put some Just for Men in his beard at 63. I don't know, maybe he's hydrating and using some hyaluronic acid. Anyways, his face looks great at the age of 63, and we're going to offer him a managerial job for 3 years so he can collect Social Security once he's done. Felipe Escalera is also a manager I want to look at, so I'm going to offer him both. Whoever takes it, gets it. At this point, I really wish that we can rescind an offer, as the first trade of the offseason is Ronnie Mauricio moving to the Red Sox along Boston Barrow and Kevin Parada for Juan Negron and Romy Gonzalez, as Ben Joyce does re-sign with us, avoiding arbitration. And of course, we have pretty much re-upped on 95% of the players in our organization on arbitration or renewal deals. We do release 6 players, all of them being pitchers, and a couple of players, I think, towards the end of the year. Joe Adele is far off from signing with us. The Mets and the Giants and the White Sox are looking to improve with his services as well. Hayden Hoberg is going to take the money. Signing for 3 years should help us out offensively, as there is another big trade, an intra-divisional trade, as the Pirates get Abner Uribe, David Hamilton, Christian Yelich, and Yenya Cano in exchange for Nick York, Paramar Johnson, and Jonan Stone Garcia, aka the Password. The Tigers and Athletics make a trade. Jahmai Jones, Manny Gonzalez for Jack Perkins, Hogan Williams, and Alex Jack. And this seems like a pretty tit for tat kind of trade. Week 3, and the rumors are intensifying with the Mets and the Giants and the White Sox. We jump ahead another week. And yeah, those teams are definitely talking to him, and we are definitely going to offer him a contract a month following free agency. I don't really want to give him more years. I'll definitely give him more money. He's 28 years old. This should really be getting us the best of his offense in the years in which he can be at his best. $30 million. He would easily become the most expensive player on our team. But if he's giving us 30 and 80 every year with a 260 average, we will take it. As the agent calls us up, we do have confirmation of a signing. Is he coming to St. Louis? He is! Joe Adell is the big free agent we signed this offseason. I'm not quite done yet, but I will absolutely accept this as a premier hitting right fielder. Obviously not Aaron Judge, but we will gladly take what Adell can do. And actually, this is the second series in a row that I've had Joe Adell on our team. Hopefully, he's a better player than he was in the Yankees series. He was a quality player back in that series, as we get a big 1-2 punch, and we look at the trade block at Logan Webb, a plus pitcher who, for some reason, the Giants are looking to trade. See if we can muster up a deal. Max Muncy, not that much Muncy, the younger Max Muncy. I think we're going to offer him up a little bit of a deal. He's pretty quality across the board and has some versatility in the infield. 2 years at almost $2 million a year is nothing to us. Look at the draft lottery, and we should be getting the number 1 pick, though it's even odds for the top 3 teams. Mariners are the world champions. They don't have to worry about this anymore. And son of a bitch, the Brewers absolutely pole vault us, going from 11 to number 1, despite being a near 500 team and an under 2% chance at the number 1 pick. Damn it. Max Muncy, we're going to have an opportunity to sign him at 2 years, 1.7, and he immediately is going to sign on the dotted line. This doesn't mean I'm going to keep him at the majors. He could be a triple-A player, and if somebody gets hurt, we will, call him up. Pedro Pages, Victor Scott in exchange for Logan Webb. This seems like a pretty solid deal to me, as they are looking for an outfielder and a catcher, and the Giants will get back to us. I guess there was an issue with the trade, so I guess we'll throw in Lewis Coleman, a potential outfielder. I think he's 18 or years old. We could use him on outfielders, and they're going to counter, but I don't like this prompt. It shouldn't tell me that you're below minimum. It's the offseason. You should be able to clear house or completely sign a bunch of players. This shouldn't matter. You don't need healthy and active players until you get to spring training. And here in January, the signings begin. Such a long wait on some of these signings. Stephen Kwan signs with the Braves. The world champs get a new starting pitcher, 7 years, $221 million to Mackenzie Gore. Johan Duran going to now be the closer for the Angels, and it seems like a sign, and then they'll probably trade him at the halfway point of next season. William Contreras goes to the Rangers. 5 years, $102 million. Adley Rutschman is coming to our division on a 2-year, $31 million deal. Wow. When the Blue Jays traded Clement, I didn't expect that they were going to look at Jeremy Pena as shortstop, but it makes sense to pair up with Vlad Guerrero Jr. Nick Lodolo goes to the Tigers. Pablo Lopez, 1 year with the Cubs. Griffin Jacks, 1 year with the Yankees, which looks like he might become either their closer or their setup man. And we're going to try our hand at Logan Webb again. We're going to offer him a reliever, a catcher, and an outfielder in exchange for Webb and Lewis Coleman. Again, if this sets us, okay, it doesn't set them to the roster minimum, but if they don't accept it, this is a good deal. Okay, maybe it's not the best of deals. I get that Logan Webb is a 92 overall, but y'all are trying to get rid of the salary, aren't you? Anyhow, we got a bunch of arbitrations, and listen, nobody is signing an arb deal for anything crazy because, to be honest, we don't have the best talent. So probably a little bit of a lackluster offseason, but I didn't exactly see any spots to sign anybody in which there wasn't, whoa. What? This is a wild deal. I didn't expect Pasquantino to get moved. Jordan Lawler, though. Why do the Royals need Lawler? I mean, maybe they need a new third baseman. I mean, Bobby Witt's not going anywhere from what I know. Casey Cunningham. You got 2 shortstops. I'm a little confused. It's not like you have to re-sign Witt. Witt is there for a while. As Jesus Sanchez goes back to the Yankees in exchange for, I forget who that was. Nonetheless, the Yankees are making yet another move as they finally move on from Anthony Volpe. But this move is a little questionable on the Reds' half, given Ellie De La Cruz is still there, though I think he becomes a free agent, and I think the Reds are trying to hedge their bets in case De La Cruz asks for a trade. They do get a couple of other players. Yankees also do get better. Jackson Ferris is sitting in waivers right before the start of spring training. He's 24 years old. We're going to place a claim on him and see if we get him. And we do to start spring training. So he should be at least at AAA, if not AA. And that is the end of the offseason.